Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, it's a nice Monday afternoon. It's about 32 degrees out. We're expecting maybe some freezing rain or even snow tonight, so what better time to go out and do a let's walk around downtown Waco and see some things. But you know, we're gonna do that. So here's what's going on. When I first moved to Waco, I tried to learn a lot about the city I lived in. I learned a lot of history about it, mainly because you know, I had a vlog. I had to do something to keep my viewers occupied. So it kind of forced me to learn a bunch of things about the history of this place. And as a result of that, my mom got me a few books. One of them specifically I'm going to talk about today is a book about what the guy they refer to as Waco's photographer. His name is Fred Gildersleeve. Basically, he grew up in Boulder in the 1800s, moved to Waco and started a photography business in about 1905, and basically just shot all of some of the early history of Waco. So a lot of the real old photographs that we have of him of Waco are photographs that he shot. And so like I said, I got this book that has a collection of his photographs, and I've scanned some of my favorite photographs out of there, and we're actually going to go down to the locations where those buildings are, and we're going to try and recreate those photographs. So like I said, it's a cold day to do it, but we're going to bundle up warm, and I think this will be kind of fun. Yeah, this is that coffee table book I told you about that my mom got me. And like I said, all the photos that we're going to look at come from here. So one of the advantages that comes with walking around downtown Waco on a Monday afternoon when it's freezing out is you're not going to run into a whole lot of people that are going to ruin your shots. Because what kind of a lunatic would be out here walking around downtown Waco when it's freezing, right? Now, interestingly enough, I love coming down Austin Avenue in Waco because it's the main drag that goes right down to downtown. And as I was coming down, I noticed this thing here. I haven't seen this thing before. And it actually looked like it had a historical marker in front of it. I don't think it's actually an official historical marker. It just looks like something that somebody put in place, but that's kind of cool still. From 1909 to 1930, Waco hosted the Texas Cotton Palace, an annual fair and exhibition drawing in thousands of people each year to celebrate the South's biggest cash crop, cotton. In fact, we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because one of the pictures I'm going to show you actually involves cotton. The Texas Cotton Palace was held not far from this location at 13th Avenue and Dutton Avenue, bringing great periods of growth and prosperity to Waco. Reflecting on this period of Waco's past, this 1925 Ford Model TT was rugged and a versatile truck. The commercial vehicle was a variant of the iconic Model T, specifically designed for hauling cargo and performing heavy-duty tasks. The Model TT performed a significant role in revolutionizing the transportation and logistics industry, contributing to the growth of industries and the expansion of trade and commerce across the United States. So there you go. Wasn't even what I planned to come down and see, but that's still pretty cool, huh? But let's go look at what we're actually here to look at. Alright, this building here was the old Singer sewing machine store in 1913. This photo was shot by Fred Gildersleeve, and you can clearly see this is the same building. The address is right, 707 Austin, and if you look up there on the photo, you can see the horizontal bit work on the bricks. You can see the ornamental stuff on the right below the windows there. You can see the 3 windows on each side. One of them is missing there, but yeah, that's clearly the same building. In fact, that little brick piece there, that has the Singer advertisement on the side of it. So yeah, that's one of Fred Gildersleeve's buildings right there. Well, not his building, he doesn't own it, obviously, but that's one of the photos he shot. Kind of cool. I've been walking by this place a whole bunch of times, didn't realize that Fred Gildersleeve probably stood right where I am now. Now, I've been down to this building a bunch of times. I've been in there. It's kind of a cool little consignment shop with all sorts of quirky little things that you can buy from antiques. And they got rocks and minerals. But in 1914, this was Wolf's bookstore. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, there was cotton was a big thing here. In fact, to support local industries, businesses were encouraged to buy a bale of cotton just to support the industry. And Wolf's bookstore decided to buy a bale of cotton. And this photo here is from inside the store here with the women in the bookstore surrounding the cotton, posing with it. Now, you look at those beautiful ornate ceilings up top and that kind of balcony kind of thing around the back. I've been in there before. I don't know. I'm going to go up to the top level and see if there is something in there that looks like that, because that'd be cool if that was still in there. Well, I'm up on the 3rd level here, and this is the only thing I see up here that looks anything like the ceiling tiles, and I don't even think those are maybe the same ones. I'm pretty convinced that photo was shot at the bottom floor in this building, not up here, because I don't see any of that balcony looking thing either. However, I do see something downstairs that kind of resembles maybe what that got transformed into at some point. So I'm going to take you back downstairs and I'll show you that. But yeah, this is supposedly, I guess, where it was, but I'm guessing at one point they had this kind of ornamental tile downstairs too, but it looks like it's all just been kind of pulled out and turned into like drop ceiling now. See, we're kind of back on the bottom floor now, and I suspect maybe that balcony thing may have gone all the way entire length of the building. And this little thing that sticks out and says deli on it, that's the closest thing I can see that might imply that maybe that was part of this balcony thing or whatever it was they had in the picture. But you can see the drop ceiling has been replaced, has replaced everything else. So like I said, I'm pretty sure this is the same building. The address is right, but there's not much here that would make you remember what was once here. So anyway, I'm in the section where they have their rocks and minerals, so I'm going to see if they have anything cool, and we'll go from here. It's interesting. I'm a couple blocks down here from the Cameron Trading Company, and I'm looking in the window of this building. This looks way more like that building that I was seeing with all the cotton in it. You can see the balconies in the upper level. You can see the stairs. Even the ceiling tiles look the same. I gotta wonder if this is the building and it's just misaddressed in the book. Could be. If this is the case, this is on the corner of 8th and Austin, and I'm not sure what the address of this place is. Probably 800, yeah, 800 Austin. Okay, so that's weird. It was saying it's at the Cameron Trading Company, but it's clearly here. Alright, in 1914, this sort of was the same thing that it says on the sign right now. It was a Woolworth company. And this photo I have here shows kind of the inside of the store in 1914. Apparently it was their Christmas display, and Woolworth was a company at the time that I guess advertised that nothing in the store was more than 15 cents. What we're specifically looking for today is I want to see some of that ornate ceiling work and the decorations around the support beams, but I don't know. This thing looks like it's been made a little bit more generic since the 1900s. So let's go look. Yeah, it looks to me like they've elected to go with more of a modern look in here. I don't know how much you can even see in here, but got cleaner lines, none of that ornate stuff. The beams are still there, but not much else. So yeah, I don't know. Sometimes these beautiful old buildings they get destroyed in the under the guise of, hey, let's make it more modern. That's a shame sometimes. Now this shot's kind of interesting because right now we're at the base of the Alico building. This is the tallest building in Waco. I've shown this a whole bunch of times. But back in the day, this building was called the Amicable Building. And basically this shot right now that I'm showing you is basically from the same angle as I'm looking at it now. And it's kind of interesting because the Amicable Building wasn't even there. It was just a lot. And you can see across the street, you can see the R.T. Dennis Building, which that was the building that was destroyed when the tornado came through in 1953. So it's interesting kind of seeing the dichotomy here where, you know, in the photo it's the absence of the building and the R.T. Dennis Building, and then in real life now it's the Alico Building and a parking lot where the R.T. Dennis Building used to be. Yeah, see, this is another place I've been. This is the Dr. Pepper Museum, and you can see in this picture from Fred from 1913 that the building looks pretty much the same today as it did back then. You know, all the little stonework there above all those little arches, that's all the same. That little rotunda thing up there on the top, that's the same. The flagpole's in the same place. Even this little outcropping of the building here, you can see. And when you get over here in front of it too, you can also see that little thing above the main arch with the stairs there says Home of Dr. Pepper. And that was in this photo too. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. Now, this building has been altered a little bit because in 1953, it got hit by that same tornado that took out the R.T. Dennis Building, because the tornado literally went from the Amical/Alico Building there all the way to here, and there's damaged stuff here too. So I've told that story before, but you know, a lot of the reason this area is all kind of emptied out is because it got wiped out by the tornado. And of course, how could you be Waco's photographer and not have a picture of this? This photo from 1911 actually shows the bridge how it originally looked with its brick facade rather than the stucco facade they have over it now. I actually think it kind of looked kind of cool with the bricks. It's pretty this way too, and it really looks nice at night. But it was kind of the cool, you know, the bricks were kind of cool and kind of a classic look of the bridge. It's interesting also, back in these days, it wasn't uncommon for people to advertise on the side of the bridge. In fact, in this photo from Fred, you can see a little bit of advertising there under the arch, but it wasn't uncommon, for instance, on all the pillars and stuff like that to have advertising for the companies at the time. Now, I'm going to walk over the bridge just because I want to go to the other side, because on the other side is the Martin Luther King Park, and today's Martin Luther King's birthday, so we're going to go over there and just pay our respects. And it has nothing to do with me wanting to walk over the bridge. Now, you never know what's going to happen when you're out vlogging. It turns out I walked out onto the bridge, got about 15 feet out there, and my battery died. So I ended up coming home, and I'm going to go back and finish up the vlog today. But it's the next morning now, and they were predicting maybe a little bit of snow this morning, but those predictions seemed to go away a couple days ago. But we are getting a little bit of snow right now. Check that out. I gotta say, this is my first time crossing the bridge when it's snowing. And there's absolutely nobody else out here, so I got the whole place to myself. It isn't actually snowing that much anymore. I know I've said this before, but I love having this thing here. It's neat to be able to have direct access to a piece of history. And this is history. This is what turned Waco into a town. It was just a little outpost here at one point. But this became the first crossing across the Brazos where they could bring cattle across. And yeah, it exploded traffic into Waco. And right now it's all mine. Practically no one's crazy enough to be outside on the bridge when it's 32 degrees, but when it's snowing, I mean, who'd do that? And like I said, they used to have like advertisements on all the brickwork on the structure here. I think that kind of makes it look tacky. I think it looks a lot cleaner and nicer, clean and nice. But I do kind of wish they left the bricks out. Those were beautiful. But this is cool too. It looks really nice at night. And then just right next to the exit of the bridge here, this is Martin Luther King Park, or Martin Luther King Jr. Park. And they always decorate this up really nicely for his birthday, which I know when I started the video it was today, but now it's yesterday. And we were going to stop and see this, and yeah, that's what they did. Obviously holding up all right into the weather extremes that we've been having here. Yeah, this is kind of our whole heritage area here, because you got the bridge over there, you got Martin Luther King Jr. Park here, we got Doris Miller over there. So yeah, it's all just kind of in one area. Now I know I've talked about this bridge a little bit here, but we'll mention this again here. When this was originally built, it was for foot traffic and for moving cattle across the river. But as time went by, they started also allowing vehicles to go through here. And there were actually, one lane each direction. But it got to the point where there was so much traffic that we couldn't accommodate it with one lane of traffic. So what they ended up doing is building a second bridge over here, and the northbound traffic would be on that side and the southbound traffic would be on this side, and that was how they dealt with that. And then eventually they built all these other bridges over the river, and this one got converted into a historical landmark, and they restricted it to foot traffic only, and they disassembled the bridge that was here. And part of the reason they call that section over there Martin Luther King Jr. Park is because they've decorated what used to be one of the posts for the river, or for the road going over the river. They redecorated it with a bunch of images from Martin Luther King Jr. That's his famous "I have a dream" speech. On the other side here is him sitting in prison. And like I said, I know I've talked about that before, and it's all been covered in other vlogs. But since we're here, Now this next photo I saw, I recognized right off the bat as the McLennan County Courthouse. But when I pulled it up in Street View on Google to try and verify exactly the location, said, no, this isn't quite right. That doesn't quite look like this picture. And all of a sudden it dawned on me. The McLennan County Courthouse has two entrances. The one on the front that I just showed you, and this one on the side. And this is definitely the location of that photo. That was the kids there are called the Working Boys Club. This was from 1914. And basically what they did is they learned job skills by mentoring construction people in the area. And this was one of the ways that they taught young boys their to be skills, taught them the skills that they could use when they grew up. And so, yeah, this is clearly the photo. I noticed that there's the 3 steps on the columns on the side there. The lamps up there are still the same, the fixtures. So, yeah, this is definitely that location. All right, I got one more place to take you. Let's go check this out. This is St. Paul's Episcopal Church, and I found a photo of this church from Fred Gildersleeve from 1913, and this was the one building I wasn't exactly sure where to find where the photo was shot, because this building's been modified a lot over the years. This is the original sanctuary here, but it appears to me that this little front piece here and possibly all of this over here was added on afterwards. And so I was kind of wandering around looking for, if there's anything left of what I had seen. And all of a sudden I saw this stained glass window up on top of the building here. It's kind of hard to see a little bit. It probably looks fantastic from the inside there. But I realized that is the stained glass window that you can see in this photo. And I realized that's when they added this thing. Because if you actually look inside this window here, and I looked in here because I came by here yesterday after my battery died, and I took a peek in here. And let me see if we can even make it so you can see them in there. Yeah, you can see those big tall windows with the kind of points at the top. Yeah, that is clearly the same as in this picture, and that's now the entrance into the sanctuary. And I really can't tell what's over there, but there was some sort of a little round rotunda thing that you entered to get in. So yeah, that's definitely this. So that's where this was, right here. And like I said, it all started with me discovering that little round stained glass window up there on the top. So interesting, when I was reading this, it was the photograph was taken in 1913. So that was not just 1913, that wasn't just some random time. That was them probably celebrating their 50th anniversary, because this church was established in 1863. So as with a lot of churches these days, this one has a functioning school, so I'm not going to really do too much exploring there. I don't want to make them, creep anyone out. Some guy in all black is walking around with a camera, right? So I'm going to wrap up this video. I thought it was kind of fun to look at some of these famous sites, buildings that have been here for forever and are still with us. And it was kind of fun for me. I hope you enjoyed seeing this too. But like I said, got to wrap this one up. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.